the Senate is considering a legislative move to institutionalize a presidential address every June 12 in recognition of the day's historical significance. Leader of the Senate, Opeyemi Bamidele, in an interview with reporters on Tuesday, stated that the Senate was hoping to prepare a bill to formalize the president's speech to the nation on that date. So the proposed legislation will seek to designate the National Assembly complex as the venue for future presidential inauguration ceremonies. Rise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss this plan and its likely significance if it sails through. It's good to have you with us, Mr. Sobowale. So what's wrong with the present inauguration venue and why is there a need to change it?
Well, you can only speculate, but the first thing to say is that maybe for security reasons, that's why they don't want to use a gold square. You know, it's a vast open place. And you know the situation in the country could be target for terrorists, insurgents, and those who are not happy with the government and with all of us. But I think, more importantly, they are talking about June 12 now, just because it is due. Tomorrow is June 12. We are commemorating it. Otherwise, Nigerians will be wondering what is so important about June 12 that you have to legislate it, whereas you have other serious issues that government should be concerned with. But you are in the June 12 mood, so let's leave it like that for now.
Absolutely. And speaking about the mandating the address, you know, the mandating an official address by the president as well, the importance of that, especially as it pertains to highlighting the rule of law and democracy in Nigeria.
That's right. Well, we have decided that our journey in democracy began when we returned to civilian rule after bouts of military rule. And ever since, it has been smooth sailing. So, in a way, it is our way of commemorating our journey in democracy. It has been a rough journey, we must all admit. But like people who value democracy say, if democracy yields the dividend of democracy, people should applaud it. Even if it does not yield it as expected, it is still better any day than military rule. And I hold that view seriously. And I hold that view seriously. And that is why I go along with anything that unites us in celebrating June 12. And if they are going to have a joint session, fine. See, but it shouldn't be a rancorous one like the one in the US when the speaker, Nancy Pelosi, was tearing the president's speech behind his back while he was addressing the joint session of Congress. It's a welcome development, and I look forward to the spectacle of seeing it. Legislating it or institutionalizing it is welcome. It's welcome. It's part of our history making.
All right, briefly. Very good, Mr. Sobowale. So if it scales through, their suggestions, the move towards it, how significant will it be on the long term? On the long term?
Well, it will be very significant, although it will be an assessment of any government in power of what it has done in terms of democracy. You know, there will still be some celebration on October 1st. Yeah. There are two different issues. But it's in terms of making government and governance accountable and responsive and transparent, it is welcome. Because at least whoever is president must give an account of his stewardship, either on June 12th. It's a welcome development. And it's good for democracy.
It is. Now, in hopes that this doesn't just become, say, another ceremonial day and event, and possibly if this pulls through legislation, how do you think this move is going to further strengthen Nigeria's democratic culture, not just from the people's side, but also on the part of the government?
Well, I see it as a communication issue.
Okay.
Because the president must have to speak about his performance, the justification for him being in office. So in a way, it is not just a festive occasion. It is an occasion to render service, to render accountability and to show us how far you have moved us. Right. And because before the next June 12, this is another barometer of measuring public or government performance and government responsiveness to the expectations of people who voted to put it in power. I see it as I don't see the fanfare side. I see the accountability, public accountability part of it. That is good for democracy. Right.
All right, on that note, Mr. Dayo Sobowale, a Rise News analyst, I'd like to thank you for your thoughts on those issues. Always a pleasure to have you with us on Newsday.